Hey everybody, it's me, Keith Alexander from Black Flag Gaming Company. Here tonight with another paint stream for you guys. I'm going to be streaming Lord Commander Stryker, Stryker 2, Epic Stryker, whatever you want to call him. He's an amazing warcaster for Signar. He's from Privateer Press's War Machine line. And I've actually done a custom version, a repose. I wasn't like super crazy about the original pose, and so I always wanted to kind of do a more stood up version of him. And so yeah, let me show you guys what I've got started here so far. So we'll fire on over here. The controls there. Quite nice. So you will see here, at first glance, it's not terribly different. Actually, let me go to the concept art first for you guys, so you can see what I got here. So you'll notice here, this is some amazing concept art from, I believe, who did this? Matt Wilson originally? And I can't even tell you what book this came out with. It's definitely before Mark II. But anyway, the concept art is pretty crazy. You can do a lot of searches for it. But the first thing that I noticed about this model was it was slightly different than aesthetically than the others. He has a real dynamic pose. He's leaning forward real hard. I can't tell if the painting here was done after the model was sculpted or before, or maybe the model was sculpted after it. But you can see Matt Wilson's sketches there, right here, where he has all the details mocked up, including the second version of Quicksilver, his sword. He's got a lot of power cables and stuff. And in fact, that was like the first thing that inspired me to do a repose. I really wanted that power cable going to the sword. I thought that was really cool, and it was kind of a cool thing to kind of have whipping around. You'll see in the painting here that he doesn't have it anymore. There he is with, I guess that's Fiora or whatever, squaring off. And yeah, and he's leaning forward really heavy on the model. So I wanted to stand him up a little bit. And once I started messing with it, let's move over to mine. You will see the painting has got that same similar moving forward pose, but when you actually get this on the base that comes with the model, he's really leaned over heavy like this. I don't know if you can see in the camera. So what I did was, let me find my mock-up here. This is my version without before I primed it. You can see I had to reposition the leg, and obviously I split back the sword and the arm, the character's right arm, holding the sword up and back, kind of lop somebody's head off. And he's got his hand extended out, pointing out his target. It's a real super dynamic pose, and the guy plays just like that on the table. I mean, he's amazing. So yeah, the pose came out really cool, especially when I added on the piping and everything. I was just like so excited to do this, and then magically, for some reason, I stopped. I don't know why. Why I primed this guy up. I even went ahead and like painted his head here. Check this out. I even went ahead and like got the head going. See if we can get it in focus there. And I can't even remember what model came along that I decided I was going to go ahead and do instead of the Stryker. There it goes. The head came out awesome. If you check out like my Instagram and stuff, like I posted stuff, I was all excited. I'm like, oh, I'm making great progress, and then I stopped. So now I'm back at it. I'm like super excited to play this guy, and yeah, so we'll get started. I almost haven't even like thought of a plan of attack on this. Make sure everything's going good here. Yeah, I haven't even like thought about how I'm gonna do this. Usually when I start out a model, first thing I do is, you know, I pick out the deepest areas. In here it's gonna be like maybe his tabard, the legs. I almost always start with the legs. This leg is weird. It's really big. And in the concept art, you know, you'll see here. His armor is like white. It's got a lot of white in the armor, which I'm not like super excited to do, but I'll probably make it like really look dirty and dingy and kind of war torn, you know. Yeah, I'll probably start with the legs here. He kind of has some under armor. Oh, I should also point out too his arm. This arm is from the Kickstarter exclusive, what was the Signar guy there? Sturgis. Of course, but it was from the evil Sturgis. And I had it laying around, never used it. I still have all those Crix parts up there. Yeah, so I had that laying around, and it was like it was extended out perfectly. And this hand, I think this actually, you know, I don't want to say what line it's from. It's from another game line. The hand. I had that laying around in my bits, and thought it was perfect. It was pointing out, you know, what's up. It was going down. So that's how I built the arm. I could have, actually, I think I still have his original arm here. I probably could have fixed it up, but you can see when I was taking it apart, it's not in focus there, but when I was taking it apart, it really mangled it up pretty hard. And I don't think this is safe in that bad boy. And I like the armor on this. I like this cool piece right here. The shoulder piece. So that'll look really sweet when it's all deep blue. Yeah, let me go to the concept again and just take a look again what I'm working with here. You can see he's got a lot of like, you know, the electrical currents and stuff running through it. So yeah, I'll probably just try and bring a little bit of that. I thought about maybe doing some freehand on the cape. We'll see. We'll see what. I feel like getting crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the legs. Let's go ahead and fire it up. This is Lord Commander Stryker. Check in on the chat here. You know, forgive me if I'm not like super active with you guys. I'm usually pretty concentrating on the painting, but yeah, I'm gonna try. Okay. It's gonna slow down. I got my what's it called going here, but all right. So let's start with. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm just gonna start throwing down some colors. Yeah. Start throwing down some base colors just to kind of get a feel of where everything's going to be. Base the underside of this leather. This is all the Signarian, lightning proofing. A ton of this stuff on storm blades. Just a cool detail that not a lot of people notice. They're so immune to electricity, man. I'm excited to do a good job on this guy. I know that it plays really well. I've played it a few times, proxied it or whatever, and fits my playstyle pretty well. I'm sure I'm gonna be kicking myself that I haven't been playing him more often in tournaments and stuff, but he is most definitely a tournament caster, so he deserves some good work. Take our time. But yeah, I want to just start throwing down some base colors just to get a feel for the composition of the model. I'm probably not going to veer too hard from the studio design. I like, especially for casters, to really match the concept art that's out there. I have a pretty standard look for my army, so nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead and what else? As I'm looking, it's deep in the recesses here that I need to make sure I do well. Actually gonna go full up on that edges cloak. The insulation portion of this cloak. I'm just using Citadel brown base, Mournfang brown, I think is what it is. I feel like this brown used to be a lot darker than its newer versions. But I like the current formula. Goes on real good. I actually use this, to do my arc markers on my bases, because it's a one coat application. Good. Such beautiful hands. Thanks, Beho. I was once told I should have been a hand model. I missed my calling. I decided to. Decided to go into games. Much more lucrative career. Let's see. She's got a lot of stuff inside here. I mean, it's another reason I repose this model, because Privateer's version, I don't know who did it. The sculpt is by Paul Muller, but I don't know who did the paint job, and I can never tell what's going on here, so we're gonna have to really ad-lib a lot on what's going on in this armor. Take a look at the concept again real quick, see what we got here. You can see he has a lot of this gold power zones here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going with the legs. I'm really gonna try and get to that white last because it's gotta go over in so many layers. I should do this when my son is around. Yeah, right. Why do you think? Why do you think this PaintCast is at 11 o'clock, Brian? Gotta get them kids asleep. You know, I'm sure you know what it's like. You gotta live it day by day. Tonight was an easy night. Last night was a battle. It looks like I'll go all blue on these boots. There's a ton of detail in this sculpt. Like you see the screw here. Like I'm gonna try not to mess with that. I always prime black so that if I miss any of these little recesses, they'll just sit in shadow. And because of the pose here, like a lot of this stuff is probably not even going to be seen. The way he leans forward. Which you can't really get an idea for how strong of a repose it is, but you see the base here, and once he sits on it, he's standing up much higher and pointing out. He's not leaning over like he's about to fall forward on his face. I can't stand on the other one. Dante, you should have, clicked on those commercials, man. Help put my kids through college. Okay. Staying pretty loose there. What's going on with this V pad? Looks like it's like made of gold. I don't know. I'll probably hit it up later. I might go through and just keep doing my blues up just to get a look. Alright. More blue on this. I'm just gonna move on. Co-host Dante can do the colors, and I'll just do the painting. Okay, next we'll do up, keep going to the blues, do the rest of the blues on this guy. Why not? Tone lift. In fact, before I do this, you'll see inside this armor he has like just venting in here, and you'll see in the concept art too. It's like a lot of like I don't know, it's like electrical energy or whatever that's in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outline that area. Danny, you're a local guy, huh? Looking to go to Da Vinci's? I usually go down on the weekends. And there's a lot of guys that play One Machine on Wednesday nights. I usually can't make it. Alright. Here to heckle him, Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys how, for Signar especially, they have a lot of this, like, little energy, since they, you know, harness the power of electricity. They have all these, like, little power zones or whatever. A lot of people like to make fun of them and call them the Iceman. What was that Batman movie? The Iceman, played by the great Arnold. The blue glowing armor. Well, they have a lot of that stuff. You see his backpack here, and you can see in the concept art it's like all lit up, you know. So what I'm gonna do is I do a real simple trick for this, because this power zones are like all in these little tight areas, usually on the swords and stuff. What I do is I base them white. I usually go just a little bit watered down white. And because Signar is blue, I can't use some kind of blue to indicate the electricity. So I usually use a turquoise. It's a real easy trick I'm about to do. In all these areas, the lightning, where the lightning's gonna be. He's missing a head, he says, huh? I already did the head. A little bit earlier I showed the guy. I already did the head, he's on a stick. And that way I can get inside this area real tight without messing up the head or whatever, because the head sits in there really snug. Dante asks, why are you working with such large models? Well, that's because you don't see any context. They only look big because there's nothing else next to them, dude. I think you know what I'm talking about. Things look bigger when there's, you know, nothing else big around them. And I like to do this electrical energy thing early because it's just easier to just get the white on there. And you're gonna see how this trick works too. Is you really want it. You want the paint to go over there. I'm trying to see if he has any other energy. Like he has a little bit on his sword. I'll do that up too, I guess. Where else are we gonna hit it up? And I just apply this white with a little thin down so that it just really settles in. Yeah, let me go check against this concept real quick. Let's see where a lot of the electrical energy is. You see there, he's got his backpack all lit up and everything. A couple little places on the forearm. This is really what I wanted to see though. There's anything else over there. So I guess I thought it was a little more. It's really just a backpack. Thing on the knees. Alright. Did I draw those? No, that's like that's some of the original concept art for the piece, done by the guys at Privateer Press. Matt Wilson, who founded Privateer, he did a lot of the early concept. You can tell too that Stryker and Haley, like these are like his favorite characters ever. So what I'm doing here now is I'm just mixing up a little turquoise, watering it down pretty heavily. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and create a little, I'm just going to drop it in here. And we got to work kind of quick here, but see how this goes. It starts to fall into the cracks. What this does is you'll see it starts to gather in the edges and then creates the glow for us. See? And, I mean, I do this a lot with the electrical energy on the 28mm models. Some of the bigger Warjacks and stuff, I can, hand fade those, but for quick and dirty, this works really good. I want to really kind of gather in those edges. I'm going over real light first, and then I'm going to do another round of this. And I found too that I always want to cover, because when I go back over to clean up, I've often had like a little bit of that white showing. Let it just kind of fall into the cracks there, and then let the high areas pop up. Connection dropped for a little bit there. Yeah, it might just be the house. Usually if the connection drops, the audio continues, but just keep an eye on it. I probably won't dry brush anything right away here. That's usually something you want to do at the end. Yeah, I'll probably do a little of the weathering on the cape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back again one more time with my watered down turquoise and just hit like the areas closest. Just to kind of get some darker areas. It may look kind of sloppy now, but once you go in there and you clean up, looks good. You can really see in here, like, let's see if the lighting will, I mean, it's super bright, it's blowing out right now. You can kind of see how it gathers in the edges there. It almost creates the glow effect for I know it looks like it's like nuclear glowing on the on the stream, but once we level out, it'll. Let's see if I can't darken down the stream for you guys a little bit, so you can see the detail here. Camera's auto wipe out, I apologize. You can kind of see it there. I get it in the shadow. See how the paint gathers in the corners? Well, it just kind of gradually, because it was so watered down, it will just work its way up and almost creates the glow for you. So I'm going to leave that alone for now and move on a little bit. I might actually go highlight myself a little bit here. Just on these backpack lights. Just hitting the top areas of these lights that I really Alright, so let's keep on moving. I'm gonna go back to the concept here. Let's take a look. See what we're going to move next. I'm going to try and do show you guys that are here what I do with the blues. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish out all the rest of the blue armor pieces. Let's see what this little guy is here. sucks with the whole pieces blue. Yeah, for some people that, you know, it's the first time here, this is primarily a miniature painting cast right now, but we are going to start doing some game streams as well. Once I get my table finished up here, we'll start streaming some games, just myself and some local friends. War Machine is... I've been playing miniature games since I was a teenager, and War Machine is by far the best. And yeah, once again, what I'm doing is just hitting up all these areas that are going to be blue, and then I will show you guys what kind of detail I put in to the armor. How long does it take from start to finish? It really depends on the guy that you're doing. I'm going to take a little bit longer on this guy because he is a character. So a guy like this, I'll probably do this guy like in 3 sessions. You know, I've done single models before, depending on how intricate they are. Anyway, from like, you know, 1 to 2 sittings, but I'll take my time on this to explain what I'm doing. This guy's got a lot of nooks and crannies, and it's just good to, like, when you're starting out a model, to really just take your time, get all these areas, be as sloppy as you want, because you're gonna go back and clean up everything anyway at the end. But there's nothing worse than, like, you know, seeing some deep, dark recess corner of your guy missing paint, you know, or missing even primer. So just take the time up front to really hammer it out. He's got, like, I'm looking at the concept art that he has, like, it's got all blue in here, and I really love this piece. Because the white isn't super strong, and that's how I'm gonna do. Is my white's not gonna be pure white. I'm gonna go with like a nice off white, and really keep the model cool in tone. And not so that white stands out because of the way, you know, the composition of the model. That thigh, I mean, I don't know, that's like the first thing I see every time. And if that's going to be white, I really don't want to have to see it every time. Do you think it might be easier if you shrunk yourself down to a smaller size and painted with a normal brush? No. If you could see the way I painted the walls in my house, I'll just ask my wife what she thinks about it. It's pretty embarrassing. Keep going with this armor. Yeah, that's a great question. I hired somebody to paint my house. Is that sad? A little bit. Alright, this forearm piece I think when I do it just like those side pads, just gonna take a two-step. Looks like he has like almost like some white. I was probably gonna have like white under here. I'm probably gonna regret doing all this blue work ahead of time. We're gonna have to go back and touch it. Because I normally start with the clothing under, any kind of underclothing under the armor first. See, here's the old Sturgis arm. This is one of the cooler sculpts for sure. Glad I found the use for it. Okay. I'm pretty close here with all the blue. Oh, I got a little electrical energy area there. I missed. Go back and grab it real quick. Yeah, no head on the character. I definitely, I know that's like one of the things that people really struggle with and really want to see me do. I'm sad that I already finished it. Because it would have been nice to do on the stream. I'll try to just get in there. There's another spot I saw. It's supposed to have electrical energy, but I can't remember what it was. I think actually I'm going to do this in here too. Why not? This little one down. Some ones right here might be a little overkill. See, that's the one thing I found when I'm doing this electrical trick. Like, Signori often has like a lot of this like gold holding up those electrical areas, and gold on top of it on that bright color don't look so hot all the time. Alright, so it's just like a sloppy mess right now. But this is really the time for that. I just want to really get all the main areas of the model. I cannot tell what this is going to be. I think because the draping is going to be white here, this is probably going to be the blue as well. As far as paints go, I'm using all Games Workshop tonight, all in the Citadel line. I want to try Privateers. P3. I will eventually. So I'm starting to run out of my Citadel stuff. Alright, these little nagging pieces of armor, I think they might look cool if I save them and do them white later. What's that thing? Awesome. Metal. This chin piece. Yeah, I'll keep that then. I'll do this so something go metal. Should have went with the darker blue. You're right, I should have. Let me show you exactly what I do. I know it's really looking bright on the camera, and that, you know, the camera's doing that partly, but what I do is a pretty intricate step with my blue, because of what I like is I really want my blues to look deep in the recesses and then hit a bright highlight. And what I will show you is the effect we're going for. I think I showed this last week with some other guys, but you'll see here, this is Siege, another Warcaster, probably one of my better models for sure. You can see all the blue armor has deep blue recesses, and it goes to the bright. It all starts this way. And you can see that's what we're going for. And I really like on this model particularly, there's a couple big pieces of blue that you can really get a really cool gradient in there. That's what we're gonna do. There's not a lot of those big areas on this model, but my eyes will go immediately to this belly plate and the shoulder plate. Not so much the legs. I think my eyes don't necessarily go to the legs first. So anyway, like I always identify those portions, like this one right here as well. That's where I want my best fade, like my best highlight to go. So I'll show you how I do it. So I base in blue, and then I immediately wash with the darker blue. This is going to take it down really hard. And then I want to, I'm going to mix this wet. So I get my other blue ready. The full camera for this. So I get another blue ready. And this is when you gotta work quick. Sometimes I work with a wet palette, sometimes I don't. I'm here in Florida where humidity is pretty high and my paint doesn't dry up on me fast, and a lot of people up north, so that's, just have to work with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start dropping in the blue wash. What this does is the consistency of this lets the wash pool in the recesses. And what it's going to do is it's going to create all of our lines for us. Go ahead and do these legs first. You see, I just really throw it in. And normally before you start mixing back up again, you let the wash dry. But for me, I want it wet, because what it's going to do is it's going to make my own highlight with it, my own gradient. So I got it in all the spots I want. Dry off my brush. Yeah, what happens is the wash will start to collect in the finer areas. You can see here, and as the liquid evaporates out of it, it doesn't have so much shine to it. What I'm going to do though is I'm actually going to use the wetness of it to start mixing back up to my base color. So I apply the paint to the highest area, like this is the shin guards here. See, it's already starting to mix in, and then just dab off, and I start to take this and just pull some of the paint up. And then, you know, if you have a little bit too much of the wash in there, you just take a drier brush, go in there, sop it up. And like I said before, the humidity in Florida is sometimes a curse. It's not drying up as fast as I'd like. So if that's the case, I might just move on to another model, or another portion of the model, I'm sorry. All I'm doing is looking for where the edges of the armor are sticking out. And I really gotta let that dry before I go to the next port. So let's go ahead and go up here. Start up here. And you'll see what this does is the wash just kind of collects around these screws and stuff like that, like, you know, little bolts, and makes them pop off. I don't think this model's really going to have an opportunity to do some really cool fades, because there's just so much detail in it. I'll do this belly piece. You buy these online. This game is an American game. Private tier price is out of Seattle. You can buy them on their website. There's lots of places to buy them online, or you find like a local game store. I mean, that's really where these games are played. You know, you just go into a local place that sells comics and games, and they'll get you going, man, for sure. Okay, and now I'm going to start fading up. from that base, the base blue that where I was at. Grab a little bit of this. This blue is dying on me. This is Lowthorn blue. So I'm not going to go completely to the Lowthorn blue. I'm going to mix it half and half with the mix it half and half. Start working my way up. So what I do is I just put it on wet. In these areas that I want to highlight. And then I'm going to fade them down. I'm not gonna lie, I did not anticipate how difficult this was gonna be. This guy's got a lot of tight nooks and crannies. Alright, and so once again I'm just using my half of my base blue mixed up with a little of the Lowthorn blue, so it's a lighter blue. And I'm just starting to hit the highest areas of the model. And then I'm gonna I'm just hitting, you know, just barely hitting the highest areas, letting the sharp corners of the model do the work for me. You can start, and then you can start to see in here where, like, now you're getting the detail, and the wash just does a lot for you, and then you mix it up, and you get some really cool fades. Highlight one more time. I'm going to mix just a little more Lowthorn blue. You can take a look at my palette here. So this is the highest level. This is where I'm at right now. And this is my base right here. So I'm going to mix up one more time between these two. Just right about there. Just hit the highest areas. I find that a lot of times this goes on really bright and it starts to come down a little bit, so don't have to be so afraid of it being too sharp at first. this point, I'm almost dry brushing. It's for Dante. Do I put the turntables of the finished ones online somewhere? Yeah, you can check them out at blackflag-gaming.com. I think the link is in the channel as well. It's my website. That's where I have some high-res pictures of them. Let's see what they turn out. Now you can see inside of this boot, you start to see all the detail pops. When you're working with such a small miniature, you really want it to exaggerate, so you can see where, you know, just the edges of all the little overlapping pieces of armor and everything. And at the highest point, it looks blue, and you know, it looks almost lit without lights. That's the look I like with my army. You know, everybody has their own style, but that's what I've really gone with my Signar. And I'm going to try and get the rest of this blue one more time. I'm really happy with those boots. Oh, sweet. I don't think I'm going to highlight them. I don't think I'm going to go up to the full Lawthorn blue. Thorn things. Lawthorn. Whatever. Sky blue, baby blue, whatever. It's like really hot blue. So let's see what else. So we're kind of halfway up the guy's armor. Let's go ahead and do the rest of it. I got a little bit of my base blue laying on my palette, so I'm just gonna get everything else all at once. Why not? It's a lot. Shoulder. Good. You know, a lot of times too, when you're working with washes, you want to hold the model upright and let the wash pool at the lowest areas. Let gravity pull it in to where it's supposed to be. Because if you're tipping your model back, it's gonna lay at the back. And that's not what you want. You want it to create a full shadow for you. Be careful near this electricity because I don't want to get any of my blue wash in there. So you just want to like pull up at the bottom. That glove. Do its own shadow for me. I'll get back here. It's probably a little too soon for the armor back here, and I'll have to do a lot of small brush work to get in there. Okay, all I'm gonna do is just go right to the base here. Start hitting high areas again. Forgot to get in here. Just gonna use a mixed version. My blue. Inside the collar. And these high areas again. There. And these screws, you want to really make sure, like Signar has a lot of these screws, and make sure that you don't glob your paint into those screws. because you're going to want to hit them up later with some metallic. So that's what we're going to do. We'll just steer clear of them for now. Once again, I'm just putting my base blue back on top of the washed areas. I could use a little extra wash here. This neck piece and under those other pieces. I'll let the wash create the fake shadow. Now I'm going to come up with my blue. Just take a little. Basically, you want to do 2 parts base, 1 part the Luthorn blue. Start going to the edges. And this creates like a little look of worn. You know, where he would hold it with handle with his hands and stuff. I'm using it, it's pretty thin down, so it dries nice, but also lets a lot of that original blue through under it. Messed up. One more time with the Luthorn blue. My brush is losing a lot of its steam too. Keeping a nice wet brush keeps a nice tip. Oh, what's up, Kev? I didn't see you in there. So yeah, I'm gonna hit this Luthorn blue on the edge highlights now. I'm trying to pick up some screws, and you know what I'm really trying to do too is I want to light up this area, this edge, all this electricity in here. It's gonna make it feel like it's hot. And we'll still with a little bit of a source light. Tops of these rivets in here, just at the edges of the armor there. Okay. Okay. Just drinking and heckling Keith. I know, I'm having a brewski. People ask, how do you keep your hands so steady? That's the trick. Alright. I think that's pretty good there. It's good. I was nervous that it wasn't gonna have enough blue in the model. The concept always looks crazy. It's hard to tell in that angle, but he has a lot of white in there. And I'm obviously going to have to do a lot of white in the corners and stuff. 102, does he need it here at all? Maybe not. I didn't even hit this corner. Or that forearm pad. Let's go hit it real quick. Okay. That's gonna be some of the gold. This is gonna be the white. Yeah, I really, now I'm looking at this, I really wish I did the white Under Armour first, but almost debating whether or not to make this pad, this shin pad. I know in the picture it's white, but I'm debating whether or not to make it blue. I think the studio paint job. No, it's white as well. There's a better, more close-up shot of the concept art. I mean, there's a lot of white in that. Let's see it over there. So yeah, steady as she goes. I also missed color shade of the pad as well. Look at this, I'll probably wrap it up for tonight. Let's get in here. Get the shoulder up proper. Got some of my blues. It's dying on me too. I need to get a new one. Can't tell you enough how much you need. Nice, thin paints. It's a pain to do more coats, but it's better to get a nice even coats on. Open this in there. Side. A little bit of wash. It's still wet. Okay. Alright, that's cool. That's pretty much where I wanted to be. I'm gonna hit those little areas of electricity, and then what I'm gonna do is I'll show you guys how old Jonas Murdoch turned out from last week. I didn't do a final stream of him just because it was just one of those things where I had a lazy Sunday afternoon. I plopped down, started painting, and finished them without even wearing up the podcast or the Twitch stream. And for that, I apologize. I'll have to go to the website to check out how we came up. Just getting in the electrical area. It's cool. I'll leave it dark there. I know I shouldn't be handling my model. But okay. Alright, so I think that's probably going to wrap up Stryker for tonight. I got the armor done. It's pretty cool. The electricity kind of started up. I know it's like blowing out the camera, so I apologize. You can kind of see it. Just get the camera to stop white balancing for the electricity. As it gets going more, I'm sure it'll go down a little bit, but you can't really see this detail inside here. It's coming along good inside there. I think it could probably, I'll probably have to work it a little bit harder inside here just to get the detail back. Right now it looks like it's actually glowing. So yeah, let me show you guys how old Jonas Murdoch turned out last podcast. Came out amazing. You can see his face. He's got his awesome silver fox hair. The face came out really nice. I mean, I'm just really sad that I didn't do a cool cast for the face. But you can see his jawline there has a nice 5 o'clock shadow on it. The face has some nice detail. The eyes are nice and squinty. Had some really cool effect with the wood here on the gun handle. Yeah, this model came out amazing. You know, sometimes that's just how it goes. Like, it's a model that you don't really care about, and you don't try, and then what do you know? It comes out amazing. One of my favorite guys was Rupert Carvolo. I'm not like a huge fan of that model, but once again, not trying hard, and it comes out amazing. But anyway, anybody who made it to the end here, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. You know, you can always follow me on Twitter, BFG_Keith. And what's going on here with this? I don't have my tag up, but anyway, you can come check out the website anytime, blackflag-gaming.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Black Flag Gaming, and yeah, keep up with what's going on, and check out our next cast probably next Thursday. Thanks again. I'll see you.